Folks, we have got information oozing out the seams. I'm talking about the Biden family. They can't handle it. So what's happening? Trump's catching more issues in New York City from Letitia James. I'll tell you a little bit about that first, and then we'll get into why this happened now. Every time the Bidens have a bomb dropped on information dropped for the American people to find out or Congress to expose, um, or something about Hunter comes out that's not too friendly, they immediately find a way to try to put Trump back in the news for with something or another. And a lot of times it's just another indictment, more charges, more issues in one of the cases. They're going to continue to do this, so just prepare for it, folks. This is another stunt they're trying to pull right now. What I'm talking about is in New York City, or actually in New York. Letitia James, the crooked district attorney up there, that has the case against a couple of cases against Trump over what his value, what he valued his properties at. And so she is saying it is a civil case, and she is taking it to the financial level. Basically, they want Trump to pay about $250 million in some kind of a reparation fee for frauding the government by appraising his properties too high and getting loans that he actually paid back. Now, most business people do not want their property value to be even uh, inflated for any reason because you have to pay more taxes. So that's just crazy to me. I don't understand the whole logic behind their logic, but they're trying. And what they're trying to do as a penalty with this crooked judge decided he was going to go ahead and instead of this going to court like a normal litigated thing that would have to happen when you bring charges against somebody of any kind, well, or even allegations against somebody. Instead, the judge goes, "No, I've looked at enough evidence. Let's go ahead and call him guilty." And so now we have Letitia James and this judge deciding that Trump has done some criminality, civil criminality, I guess would be the best way to put that. And sure enough, they're going to try to find Trump, which I knew that's what it was about. And at the same time, they're going to try to take away his, and Trump will appeal this, but they're going to try to take away Trump's ability to, I guess, do any business in New York more than anything. But they're trying to dissolve the Trump organization through financial means. It's another type of warfare. Matter of fact, just another crappy tactic from the Democrats. Now, this is happening because of the fact that today, 700 more pieces of information are being dropped, and there was a press conference about it. Kevin McCarthy spoke about it a little bit today. Not that I'll bring you him; I'll spare you. He's not in anybody's favor at this point. But there was another press conference that went on after the Ways and Means Committee broke down what what all they have found out about tons of countries involved in the same stuff involving the Bidens, like the Ukraine, the China, the different countries we found out that they've been, Africa, that they've been dealing with. Well, they just come up with a whole bigger list from some information they have derived that started with the whistleblowers. You know what I'm talking about, Shapley and Ziegler, I think was the other guy's name. But that is dropping, and I'm going to read you a little more about that. And on top of that, the Bidens have been caught with information, actually money transfer being wired to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's name being on these slips, on these basically transaction receipts as the beneficiary with his Delaware address. Can you believe that, folks? That kind of, you're still telling me Joe Biden doesn't know anything about Hunter's business? Don't know a clue, but receiving all kinds of things that are tied together with his son. I mean, every direction you look, they were tied in together. They were communicating. Joe Biden was communicating and meeting with all these people from all these foreign nations. and probably big businesses as well, needed a favor, that needed some information, that needed policy change. And that's exactly what happened, folks. It's plain as day. It's as obvious as anything I've ever seen. The amount of evidence that I have seen just doing research and doing this podcasting thing, I cannot believe this man is not in jail. That alone tells you that our government is crooked from the top down. That alone tells you that. This president should not just be impeached, but once kicked out of office, he should be imprisoned for the things he has done, for all the selling out of this country him, his brother, and his son have done. And that's just my opinion, but that's just the truth of the matter. Now let's go ahead and get into this. So the Bidens are having a bad week between information dropping about 23 countries now involved in this whole situation, to the fact that we're now finding out that Joe Biden's a little more involved than he keeps leading on to with his lie. I don't know nothing about my son's business. I don't even know them guys I'm in the picture with, probably stuffing each other's pockets full of money with. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get into this video here. But this is a crazy story. It says Chairman Smith said the new whistleblower document specifically mentions 23 foreign countries on 4 different continents with connections to Hunter Biden's business operation. The DOJ took unprecedented action to impede any investigation steps that could have led investigators to Joe Biden, but they still were able to prove this much. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars flown through the LLCs. Now, I will leave you a link in the description below if you want to watch this full evidence disclosure. It's quite long, and the full press conference is quite long. But right here, start listening to the details that we had no idea about. I mean, it made me. I always knew Anthony Blinken was more than just a paid off, uh, alleged treasonous individual that is working for the Bidens, and so you have to assume that he has business, some kind of favor for doing what he does. And I just would have to assume that, just like a lot of other people in our government, he's conducting business, got stocks, doing probably the same things the Biden's doing, the Biden family's doing, or something along that line. That I believe they're all dirty. Just my opinion, folks. Here we go. Check this out.
2016. These documents also underline how Hunter Biden's role as, quote, door opener extended far beyond his father and includes numerous other meetings between Hunter Biden and senior U.S. government officials, including now Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
Including now Secretary Antony Blinken.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken. 2. The evidence today shows the complexity and scale of the Biden family influence peddling scheme. Millions of dollars were flowing through subsidiaries.
Why would Hunter Biden be meeting with Blinken? Was it because he needed somebody to cover his tracks? Do damage control for future investigations that were going to happen because they knew the laptop was out? That's my first speculation. Or my second speculation is he and Hunter Biden working together? I've always wondered how Blinken got so rich, why he is so left-wing leaning with all of his politics, that he's willing to do things that are just totally against anti-country, and for a paycheck, for loyalty to the Democrat Party, to Joe Biden. I couldn't get it. I couldn't fathom how this goes in somebody's mind. It must be special interest in other nations, Probably doing some of the same, possibly doing some of the same business the Bidens are doing. Or, like I said before, he may have a business with Hunter. Here we go.
2. The evidence today shows the complexity and scale of the Biden family influence peddling scheme. Millions of dollars were flowing through subsidiaries and LLCs to avoid taxes and shield visibility into how the money from foreign sources, including countries like Ukraine, Russia, China, went to different entities and Biden family members. The additional whistleblower documents we just released specifically mentioned 23 foreign countries on 4 different continents with connections to Hunter Biden's business operations. The map behind me shows the sheer scale and scope of this global operation. Lastly, in the whistleblower's original testimony, we learned DOJ took unprecedented action to impede any investigative step that could have led investigators to President Joe Biden. As you can see here in this new material, the whistleblowers have provided an email in support of their earlier testimony where U.S. Attorney Leslie Wolf directs investigators to remove all mentions of, quote, political figure 1.
He goes on to get into this a little more. I'll play a little bit more for you folks. But like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below. You want to listen to the whole video. Not only is there proof of transactions, business dealings, uh, pay to play is what it's going to boil down to. Quid pro quo is the legal term for it. For God knows how many reasons. And something else they haven't really been talking about is how much stock and bonds do the Bidens have in companies that we don't know nothing about at this point. I hope we find that out because I believe that may be a huge revenue source as well. That is another way to bribe somebody without getting on the radar too obviously. All right, folks.
From a search warrant. And who is political figure 1? I would think you would ask. That individual is none other than former Vice President Joe Biden. Here we see clear as day that the Department of Justice actively interfered in an investigation to protect the current president of the United States.
Folks, crazy day, crazy week. Like, subscribe, and share. Devoted Patriots. Everybody have a great day. Over and out.